1. There's a giant cloud of alcohol in space bigger than the entire solar system. It sounds like an internet joke, but there really is a massive cloud of alcohol floating through space. And we're not talking about just a few molecules drifting around in a vacuum. Scientists discovered a region near the center of our galaxy called Sagittarius B2, a gigantic cloud of gas and dust containing huge amounts of ethyl alcohol and methanol. This is the same type of alcohol we chemically associate with drinks, although obviously this one is definitely not drinkable. The cloud is absurdly huge, larger than our entire solar system, and contains unimaginable quantities of these compounds. The discovery is important because it shows that complex organic molecules can form naturally in space. In other words, the ingredients needed for life aren't something unique to Earth. The universe is literally mass-producing the chemistry of life. 2. The largest organism on Earth isn't an animal. It's a fungus. When you hear the largest organism on Earth, you probably imagine a blue whale or some gigantic tree. But the real record holder is much stranger. It's an enormous fungus living underground in the U.S. state of Oregon. It's called Armillaria ostoyi, and it spreads across nearly 9 square kilometers. That's roughly the size of more than 1,200 football fields. But the craziest part is that this entire area is actually one single organism connected by a massive underground network. On the surface, you just see a normal forest. Beneath your feet, though, there's a biological giant hiding underground. Scientists estimate it may be several thousand years old. So technically speaking, the largest living thing on our planet doesn't walk, swim, or fly. It just quietly grows beneath us. 3. There's a lake that can turn animals into stone. In Africa, there's a lake that looks like something straight out of a fantasy horror movie. It's called Lake Natron, and it's located in Tanzania. Its water is extremely alkaline, so much so that its pH level can be comparable to ammonia. Temperatures there can rise above 40 degrees Celsius, while high concentrations of salt and minerals create an almost toxic environment. When an animal dies nearby or falls into the lake, its body can become coated in minerals and naturally preserved. The result is terrifying. It looks as if the animal has literally turned to stone. Photos from this place are real, and they look completely unreal. Surprisingly, despite these extreme conditions, the lake is an important breeding ground for flamingos, which are uniquely adapted to survive there. 4. A man survived 2 atomic bombs. Imagine having such unbelievably bad luck that you happen to be in a city at the exact moment an atomic bomb is dropped. Most people would call that the worst possible scenario. But Tsutomu Yamaguchi's story somehow goes even further. On August 6, 1945, he was in Hiroshima on a business trip when the United States dropped the first atomic bomb. He survived the explosion, although he suffered severe burns and injuries. Most people would probably consider that the absolute worst day of their life. But Yamaguchi did something almost unbelievable. He went home. The problem was that his home was in Nagasaki. 3 days later, while explaining to his boss what had happened in Hiroshima, a second atomic bomb exploded over the city. And somehow, he survived that too. He is the only person officially recognized by the Japanese government as having survived both bombings. 5. People once used mummies as medicine. Today, medicine is associated with laboratories, pharmaceuticals, and clinical research. But for centuries, Europeans believed in something far stranger. People once thought powdered mummies had healing properties. Yes, actual human mummies. Fragments of Egyptian mummies were bought, ground into powder, and consumed as medicine. This bizarre remedy was known as mumia. At first, people believed the medicinal value came from the bitumen used in preserving bodies, but over time, that distinction completely disappeared. Demand became so high that real human remains were traded on a massive scale. Mummies were used to treat everything: pain, bruises, stomach issues, even epilepsy. Even more absurdly, this practice continued for several centuries, and many wealthy and educated people took part in it. So before medicine became a science, much of Europe was, quite literally, practicing pharmaceutical cannibalism.